why this is such a great performance bike. I mean, there hasn't been a Dyna built to this level that I know of at all. And what I mean by that is, for the powertrain, we've got 160 horsepower, 150 pounds of torque. We've got a 7-speed transmission, and yes, that's been done before. But what hasn't been done is a combination of that drivetrain with this suspension, front and rear, brakes, and just the whole design that's gone into the suspension itself, the valving, the rebound control, damping, compression and spring rates and all the rest of it. The clutch that's in it's an Evolution clutch, it's top of the line. It's got a solid sprocket on the motor. The engine mounts that are on the drivetrain, designed by myself, the rear and the front. When you combine all these things, the exhaust system, it is a smoking performance bike. This bike will run 190 miles an hour, and the thing is, this bike will be able to do that and actually sit there and run it at 150, 60, 70 miles an hour if you wanted to, just like a sport bike. That's the beauty of this bike. I highly doubt that anybody's built a Dyna that can run 160, 170, 180, 190 and actually stay on the bike without thinking of dying. And this will do that. It's built with nothing but performance in mind, and all the hard work that this is an accumulation of 2 years of work, not just wham bam thank you man, 5 minutes thinking about building a bike and make it look pretty. This is 2 years of testing and working on engine mounts, stability, suspension, all that stuff, exhaust systems, performance. It's been so much work, but an absolute love of work.
Talk about the mounts.
The rear engine mount? Yeah, the rear engine mount. I mean, Dynas are notorious for having unstable handling, and it's because of the rear engine mount as a single point attachment and the fact that the rubber mount moves too far. So when you go into a corner, the rear wheel will move out with the swing arm, the drivetrain, the rubber will stretch and then it'll snap back, and that gives the bike the wonky feeling. Plus Dynas have absolutely horrible suspension from the factory. And then the front motor mount, the same thing. Two problems with that. It makes the bike unstable because again it's moving around. Second of all, guys are breaking engine cases when they pull wheelies on them and they're slamming down because of the way the front engine mount is designed, where it's actually like a lever has leverage on the front engine mount ears on the cases, actually snaps them off. So I designed an engine mount that sits right underneath the ears, and the force and the load goes through the mount directly into the rubber mounts straight down, not being leveraged out where you would have a multiplier force on the ears of the engine case. So very stable drivetrain in a rubber mounted bike with just world-class suspension and brakes. And of course, brakes and suspension always go together. You can't have great brakes without great suspension, because it's the suspension that keeps the tires compliant to the road. So yeah, this has got everything. Fairing, new fairing design on there, new saddlebag design. It's just going to be incredibly great. You know, the headlights in front, 6,000 luminous, along with 2,000 luminous of spot lamps, you know, of running lamps. So this thing's going to have about 8,000 luminous up front, which is incredible, considering that the Harley Davidson Daymaker puts out 650 luminous. Like, whatever. But it's going to be really cool. It's going to be very cool.